What if Naruto the 10 Tails Part 7? Let's go. Naruto promises to bring back Sasuke as he let all of his friends down, he let the village down, more importantly, he let himself down. Sakura also vows to become stronger as she realized she was way too weak and didn't help at all at bringing Sasuke back and wasn't even able to help. At this point, Naruto met Jiraiya, who was introduced to him by Hiruzen, mostly because of his connection with Minato. They're to bring Tsunade back to become Hokage because Jiraiya doesn't want to become one and Hiruzen feels like he's getting too old and therefore he's not powerful enough, which was shown in him in this fight with Orochimaru, as Naruto, a 12-year-old, was basically matching the Hokage's power, which isn't really supposed to be a thing, even if Naruto is very powerful. They find Tsunade and they make a deal with her that if Naruto can do a Rasengan perfectly, she will accept the role of the 5th Hokage. As of course she knows who Naruto is, as she is the most feared child ever, everywhere. He of course already can do the Rasengan, so he wins the bet easily without even having to train or work. Orochimaru tries to make her work for him, as he could use a very strong healer and a Sannin like her, which would greatly increase his power. She refuses, but she tries to convince her again with reviving her loved ones like her husband and brother. Tsunade pretends to agree to the offer and tries to backstab him after that, but Orochimaru sees that she wasn't being honest and tries to hit her in the face. However, Naruto grabs Orochimaru's punch and hits him in the stomach as he interferes with the fight. The fight begins between Naruto and Orochimaru, but this time Naruto's angry. Really angry. He uses 5-Tailed Cloak immediately and is now destroying Orochimaru as he's angry at Orochimaru for hurting the village and stealing Sasuke right in front of Naruto's eyes. Orochimaru now uses the reanimation jutsu made in the fight and Naruto stops it, but this was just a diversion as he just wanted to get time to disappear and he actually achieves it. Naruto makes sure Tsunade is alright and then brings her back to the Leaf Village as she agrees to become Hokage because Naruto displayed more than enough power, and of course he does show the Rasengan afterwards too, and even shows that he developed it into the Rasen Shuriken and made it even stronger than the normal Rasengan. Now the 5th Hokage is elected and it's Hashirama's granddaughter, Tsunade Senju. Naruto asks to have a break from any type of missions and have a 2-year break from being a shinobi. Everyone agrees as it would be very nice to have such a strong shinobi train even more, as he's not a crucial part of the village yet, but if he develops his power at a young age, he could be, and even the next Hokage. It starts with Naruto training with Jiraiya to learn more about controlling the Tailed Beast's chakra from the viewpoint of a human, as it's easier than in canon because he can use the Tailed Beast's chakra without it resisting or messing with Naruto's chakra. However, the Tailed Beast can only control its side of the seal and doesn't really have much power or knowledge of how Naruto can use the Tailed Beast chakra, so they've always had to do it from trial and error and experience. But now Jiraiya has some knowledge and he can help with that. Naruto used the rest of this training time to train effectively as well, even when he's not using Jiraiya as a sparring or straight up sensei. Now 2 years are over and Naruto is searching to defeat members of the Akatsuki as he had a connection and found a connection between them and Orochimaru. He did a lot of investigating with Jiraiya and actually did find a lot of Orochimaru's hideouts and stuff, as he didn't really view it as shinobi duties, it was more for his personal gain, and of course his end goal to bring Sasuke back and return his friends and complete the promise that he promised Sakura as well as his Jonin sensei Kakashi to bring back their teammate. After having been out of the village for a little while, Naruto finally returns after 6 months and is greeted with open arms, but because he has great strength and Sakura trained with Tsunade to achieve healing chakra and powers too, they now are ordered to do another version of the bell test with Kakashi. Here, they actually want to show their power. Sakura is very strong, and is able to hit the ground, making a small, temporary, but still an earthquake, shaking up Kakashi's stance. And in that time frame, Naruto uses his immense speed to tackle Kakashi to the ground, where Sakura is then able to get the belt, and therefore Sakura won the bell test after mere seconds. And they still have pretty good teamwork, and their teamwork is arguably even better than when they were small children. Anyways, now they get an important message from the Sand Village, as it's a call for help. The Kazekage, the new Kazekage, Gaara, of the Sand, has been kidnapped by 2 Akatsuki members. Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi are immediately ordered to go there, and they actually arrive there earlier than they thought and planned for, as Sakura was the slowest out of the 3, as her training wasn't focusing on speed and that wasn't her profession. Meanwhile, Naruto was able to slow down slightly and then basically grab Sakura with him, therefore he could match Kakashi's speed, and so their speed is about 30% faster than it was in canon, allowing them to get there right as they see Kankuro and Sasori fight. Naruto is able to intervene and run in with Two Tails activated, which increases speed and hitting power. He decks Sasori in the face, even though it's just a puppet, and cuts off the scorpion-like venomous stinger that was about to hit Kankuro. Sakura now goes over to Kankuro and try to heal his wounds, and is pretty good at what she's doing, and therefore Kankuro's pain is mildered, and he can continue fighting. Now Kakashi and Naruto are engaging in the fight with the 2 Akatsuki members that kidnapped the Kazekage. Naruto is furious now seeing his friend, Gaara. Even though he didn't know him for long, they did become friends, and a former jinchuriki of his, well, getting kidnapped and hurt, as Gaara was unconscious. Naruto was angry, now powering up to 4 Tails, which completely outmatched Sasori and Deidara at the same time. Sasori was fighting with his puppets and did actually show his true form, his true human body, but was fighting at the front, meanwhile Deidara was trying to throw bombs from the back. But Naruto was able to distract Sasori enough that Kakashi was able to sneak to the back and take care of Deidara, as he wasn't a close range fighter. Now Kakashi was able to fight Sasori from the back, and Naruto of course distracted and fought him well enough that now they defeated 2 Akatsuki members. Of course, they're not completely done, as they would wake up shortly and then would try to fight them again, but for now the Kazekage was rescued. Gaara and Kankuro were sent to the hospitalization section of the village, where Sakura helped in their treatment, especially Gaara, who had some open wounds from fighting Deidara, who threw many bombs at him. However, luckily none of them had Sasori's venom in them, or rather in their bloodstream. That was taken care of. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki members were put in a prison-like environment and were heard by the village, as well as Naruto, Kakashi, and Sakura, who were trying to get as much information out of them as possible. Though Sakura came later, as she was still involved with the 2 hurt shinobi, Gaara and Kankuro. So now they got enough information out of Sasori and met at the Tenshi Bridge. At this point, Kakashi didn't actually have a mission, so he didn't have to be replaced by another shinobi. However, there was a new genin to join their team. His name was Sai. He was supposed to be somewhat of a replacement to Sasuke, and was a former Anbu of the Root. Sai did have different motives, as he wanted to go along with Orochimaru. They went to the bridge as normal. Kakashi dressed up as Sasori and got quite a few information handed by Kabuto, one of Orochimaru's henchmen. However, Orochimaru saw through the disguise and a battle began. Naruto, now seeing Orochimaru, went absolutely nuts and activated 6 Tails, which absolutely annihilated Orochimaru. He punched him through the landscape and made the ground shake and quite literally dissolve. When he stepped on the ground, a somewhat explosion made the ground tear up. Naruto was now on a god level of fighting and absolutely demolished a legendary Sannin like that of Orochimaru. So Orochimaru had no chance to escape. Meanwhile, Kabuto was fighting Kakashi and Sakura, but Kabuto had no chance. At this point, Sai kind of just disappeared and waited for Orochimaru to finish fighting. Orochimaru summoned a snake, but that was of no use. Naruto simply too powerful. And with that, Naruto defeated Orochimaru. However, Naruto, with one of his genjutsu that he got from the Ten Tails, actually got a whole lot of information out of Orochimaru. He made this genjutsu by using his eyes, which over the years, by using much of the Ten Tails chakra, had kind of transformed, not into the Sharingan, not into the Rinnegan, but into something like a mix of it. It was like a worse version of the Rinne Sharingan that the Ten Tails had from Kaguya. It was kind of a mix of normal eyes and a dojutsu. However, it was very, very powerful. More powerful than a normal Mangekyo Sharingan, which is already really powerful. And it had none of the side effects like making you go blind, and it didn't actually have to use that much chakra, but it did enhance Naruto's abilities and chakra usage, therefore making Naruto stronger, and so now he was able to get a lot of information out of Orochimaru, and then defeated him, took care of him, if you know what I mean. So then he had the information of where Sasuke is. They then tracked him down, and found him, walking through one of the corridors in Orochimaru's lair, already thinking about when he would defeat Orochimaru, as he was sick of being around him. However, that job was already done for him, as Naruto now appeared right in front of him by basically teleporting. Sasuke was shocked, and Naruto was so happy to see him once more. But Sasuke acted kind of differently than he expected, and he acted as if they hated each other, as if they were enemies or strangers. Naruto wasn't sure what's going on. Perhaps he had been brainwashed or put under genjutsu, or worst case scenario, lost his memories. But Sasuke seemed to know very certainly what happened and knew exactly what happened. So that definitely wasn't the case. But Naruto tried to open up, talked as if they just hadn't seen each other for the weekend, as if old buddies, which they were, as if comrades just came back from a mission. Without asking, Naruto touched Sasuke by the shoulder and then brought him to Sakura and Kakashi by teleporting him. Meanwhile, Sai was still gone, disappeared. Now, Sasuke didn't really care what Naruto was gonna do, but Naruto had a certain plan in his head. He had all of Orochimaru's memories, or not all of them, but a lot of them, and therefore knew where the Akatsuki hideout was, and that they were currently having a meeting about future plans, and about two of their somewhat immortal members going out and defeating some of the Leaf's strongest shinobi. As the worst case scenario, they'd be imprisoned, as there was no way in hell that they could be defeated like Sasori and Deidara, and there's no way they could be killed. So they were sent out, or rather, they were going to get sent out, but at that time, Naruto teleported to their cave, now activating 8 tails of the 10 tails, giving him an insane boost to his chakra, and this did make him go somewhat wild. He didn't have the power to control all of the tails, and the 10 tails personality did take over. Not completely, but it was definitely very influencing. Naruto became more aggressive, didn't think through everything, didn't talk much. He was becoming more and more a beast. But that doesn't matter for now. Naruto wanted to defeat the Akatsuki, which did play somewhat of a role in stealing Sasuke, as they also supported Orochimaru, and Orochimaru was the person that Naruto hated the most. So Naruto went and tried to defeat Akatsuki's weakest members first. These Naruto thought to be Hidan and Kakuzu, especially Hidan, who didn't really have anything special about him except for his immortality, though Naruto didn't really care about it. He ripped Hidan apart, quite literally, found Kakuzu's hidden hearts with his dojutsu, or eyes, it's kind of a mix, and then defeated him, as well as he wasn't completely immortal. Then he fought what he thought of as Paper Girl, Konan, but that made Pain angry, the one with the Rinnegan, a very powerful dojutsu, which he had heard from the Ten Tails was the one that Kaguya had, and really all of the Otsutsuki have it, or most of them at least, and can be achieved if mixing Indra and Ashura's chakra, which basically results in the sailed chakra of the Sage of Six Paths. Really, just you need Otsutsuki chakra. So Naruto was a little bit concerned, but tried to fight Pain anyways. Pain concentrated all of his chakra and energy into one of the vessels, and it tried to use a lot of his power, and even used Almighty Push to push Naruto back. However, Naruto's speed was so much that it went through Almighty Push, and his Rinnegan abilities had no chance at defeating Naruto. Naruto decked Pain to the ground and defeated him, also sensing that the real Pain is somewhere else. However, then he defeated, or rather went to defeat, Kisame and Itachi, two very powerful beings, one called the Tailless Tail Beast and one Uchiha prodigy who killed the entire clan. He defeated Itachi thinking of Sasuke's goals, and is actually somewhat sorry for defeating Sasuke's older brother without his permission, but did so anyways, as Itachi was glad to be defeated by someone as proud and noble as Naruto, and Kisame in the end did take his own life for his honor and pride, as he didn't want to be defeated by anyone, especially not a child. Then Naruto went to the real Pain, Nagato, and talked with him until Nagato decided to give him one of his Renegans, as he wanted to give both, but the Ten Tails told Naruto that he should keep one of his normal eyes, as it has the Ten Tails power in it, and therefore also kind of the Otsutsuki power, so keeping one would give him a more variety of jutsu, but one Rinnegan would also be very good, and it would be very strong. Then Naruto sensed Black Zetsu and defeated him, as he wasn't a fighter, more of a spy. And then the rest of the Akatsuki were dealt with. Therefore, the Akatsuki was disbanded. Naruto was crowned a hero and a victor of a war that lasted only mere minutes, and the Leaf recognized him as the new Hokage. However, he would only be crowned as the Hokage in 6 years when he became 18 years old. Sasuke was welcomed back into the village, as Naruto did have say in that, and Sasuke was Naruto's right-hand man, basically being the Shadow Hokage. There was never a fourth ninja war, as all of the Akatsuki's plans, and Madara and the Black Zetsu's plan, were diminished. Peace returned to the world, and Konoha, and everyone seemed happy. Thank you so much for watching the series, hope you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next series. Thank you.